What's going on, guys? I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of the Bonafide XTR 130. I've had the kayak for about a year and it's evolved a lot since then. But to start off, we have the PowerPole Move, which is the fastest kayak motor possibly on the market. I know Lowrance is having theirs come out, but this thing is sweet. Some things that didn't come out when I purchased the Move but came out recently, instant reverse. So the PowerPole Move is one of the only motors that can, with the press of a button, push you backwards. So it's really unique because if you're scoping, which I like to do, hence the sniper marine pole, it gives you maybe one extra cast on a fish. You hit that button, pushes you back, you make a second cast. We've got the Move foot control. So I like to keep my hands-free, or at least one hand on the sniper marine pole. So I love that thing. It's pretty clean. It's got no buttons other than the dial for selecting. And then we have spot lock. So another stomp button. I just kick that when I want, to anchor in place. You hook on a fish and you kick it. So that's what I like about that. We got the GPS map, Garmin GPSMap, 8612. I like to have as big a screen as possible, and that's a really expensive unit and it's 12 inches. So that's what I like. I've got the AverMedia recording kit to record the LiveScope screen, so check that out if you want to see some scope footage. And we've got the Starlink. So this is a recent addition to the kayak. Recently started live streaming. Gonna work on the position of this, but right now this has been working for me. We have this on a RAM attachment, and that mounts to this black box here, where my spare trolling motor battery powers the Starlink when it's not in use. So we have the Yak Hobby transducer plate. This is something that I think is a must-have. You can't just mount the Garmin transducer bracket here, because you could hit it and it would shear off. This allows you to stow it out of the way, so there's a less chance of hitting it when it's stowed. Obviously, you can still hit it when it's deployed, but that's how that works. One important thing that I like, one big piece to the kayak, is the sniper marine pole. One adaptation that I made, this is actually to, I think, the SS, another model of Bonafide kayak. This plate does not go to the XTR. It's the accessory plate, but I mounted it custom because these rails, they only go this far, right? And if you're scoping, you really want your LiveScope pole forward so that you can visually see that arrow and not have to look at your arrow and then look at the graph. Look at the arrow and look at your graph to line up your cast. You really want to push that thing as far forward as possible when you're scoping. So that's where the plate comes in. It pushes it forward, and now I can kind of see, the arrow and the screen in the same view, which is really important. So I'm not constantly turning my head to line up my cast. So that's something that you can buy. Just drill a few holes and put another sniper marine cradle mounted to it. This is the Big Bass Chris Designs rod holder system. So this is kind of cool because one thing you lose when you add the short stack is the ability to put rod holders on the back. So I can lift this up and the rod holders slant backward. So obviously without the Starlink there, you can stage up to 5 rod holders and you can still open your short stack. So that's that. Let's see, what else is there to share here? So yeah, trolling motor battery goes in there. We've got all of our minnows up here and our worms up top. So this is the scoper section of the black box. Let's see. So I have the paddle holder, and mounted to that, I believe this is the YakGadget cup holder. So that's screws right on there. That's really fun to use. Something that I like to use the deck for, a lot of guys, they'll run their graphs up front. I like to have access to the front deck in case I want to fish up front. So what I do is I pretty much keep it clean, but when I'm not standing, I use it as rod staging. So this will hold up to 3 rod holders. I've got some separators up front just to keep them from getting tangled, the lines, wrapping around each one of them. So we have some grip tape here to keep it kind of stationary, but that's how I use my standing deck. One thing I love to do is when I hook a fish, I like to jump on the front deck. It's a bad habit of mine, land a fish that way. Definitely probably gonna punish me one day, but for right now, that's a bad habit of mine. I guess we'll take a look on the inside of this. So let me take this off. So I use this as partial storage and then also for my electronic battery. So if I lift this up, we've got some boxes and then the 60 amp amped outdoors battery, 12 volt running the whole system. And then we got some USB rechargeable little ports there to be able to charge everything. And then the foot control comes through the top and links in there as well. So that's the brains of the operation. One little DIY thing that I did that you probably can't see in full is we have the ammo crates. So these slot these BuzzBee containers pretty evenly. So just a little extra storage. PowerPole Move comes with a remote charging cradle, so that's mounted there. And of course the Koiki storage, you got to figure out a way to store these guys without bending them out. So just some wire bent to shape, a couple holes in plastic, that's all it is. And then I think lastly we have the OneObjective electronics plate, mounting the black box, the Yak power switch, the Garmin heading sensor. So just everything, you know, nice and tidy as far as I can get it. So not too bad of a job for myself because I'm electronically challenged when it comes to rigging. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I've had it for about a year. Love this PowerPole Move, love the XTR, and the two married together is just bliss. So the only caveat is she's heavy, and she has to be trailered because I'm not going to truck bed that thing. But that's the kayak, and I'm sure it'll adapt over time as well. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.